Lithuania started the year by swapping its litres for euros, completing the entire Baltic region's migration into the Eurozone. The Prime Minister was first to withdraw some of the newly adopted currency from a cash machine, taking out 10 euros just after midnight on the 1st of January. The government hopes that being part of the European currency club will boost stability and attract investment. Not everyone is so keen, though. A poll in November by the country's central bank found that nearly 40% of the population was against it. Political commentator Thierry Baudet says he's not sure Lithuania will get what it's bargaining for.
Very odd, I think, that the Lithuanian government decided to join the Eurozone this quickly, as well as given the fact that about half of the population is very skeptical about joining the Euro. They might face short-term gains in their economy, but long-term losses, because the Eurozone is such a large currency area, and it inevitably will face asymmetric shocks, and the way it will deal with it will necessarily not be in the interest of all the members of the Eurozone.
As another nation gets itself more entwined with Brussels, there's a growing feeling around the European Union that the bloc's taking on too much to cope, as Igor Pishkinov reports.
28 member states, 500 million citizens. The European Union is truly a massive association. But lately, many have been raising the question of how united it really is.
Actually, when it comes to key issues, often its biggest players are on completely different pages. Like immigration, driving a wedge between Germany and the UK, with Britain recoiling at the amount of newcomers arriving from other EU member states and threatening to close its borders. Or the different views between states on how to revive the Eurozone, which has seen some declare that something needs to be done about the bloated bloc.
The EU has grown, and we are now at 28 countries, and we have not solved the problems that we face so far. It is a body that has become too big, and if you look at the various nations and at individuals, I mean, the one-size-fits-all politics definitely will not work anymore.
Amid serious worries that the Eurozone will slide into a triple-dip recession and the EU's growth hovering around zero, a so-called Robin Hood tax is one option being floated. But slapping an extra tax on banks that were bailed out by the public during the financial crisis only managed to rally support from 11 EU members. And even they can't agree on its basics.
It's every man for himself right now. We're entering the third stage of the Euro crisis. Stage one was the bailout of the banks. Stage two was the implementation of austerity measures. And now the governments are realizing that the austerity measures are not sufficient in order to fill the holes in the gaps of the state budgets.
But it's not only the union's internal squabbles, its foreign policies are another source of discontent. Amid the widening frostiness with Russia, France's President Hollande floated the possibility of scaling back sanctions against Moscow, going against the grain in Brussels of squeezing Russia over Ukraine. But it moves France closer to several other EU states, including Finland and Greece, which have been opposing further confrontation with the Kremlin because of the economic damage to both sides. The EU's got a lot to deal with in 2015, and the more discontent there is between its members, the slimmer the chances of a smooth ride ahead. Igor Pishkinov, RT.